Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to take a bit of a turn as far as how our usual videos go, but I feel like everybody who plays each Jason doesn't really know how to play that Jason necessarily correctly. I'm going to show off a video on how you should exploit all your strengths while trying to minimize any risk of your weaknesses. First up, we're going to do part 3, in which part 3 can run, and I'll show you a difference of how fast can run actually makes you run versus how slow you are if you don't have it, and how slow you are if you have can't run. And weapon strength, I'll show off that, how much that's just affects like how many hits it takes total to slash somebody, and yeah. And grip strength, I'll show off how long you can hold somebody in there, as well as showing some other stuff. So without further ado, I'll jump into the video. Alright, and welcome back. So today we're going to make our first test to see how long it actually would take to break down this door if you don't have destruction. And here is how fast you can do it with destruction. As you can see, it's a lot fucking faster, but there is a way to make it even faster. Going into combat stance by pushing C and slashing like this makes it like half the time of it already. So if you do that even with people without destruction, you can break it as fast as somebody with destruction. But if you do it with the person with destruction, you can break it down almost instantaneously and get in. So it's a nice tip for you guys to learn. And yeah, I wouldn't really recommend doing this all the time because there is a collision glitch which prevents you from doing that sometimes. But it's alright. And yep. Now we'll do water speed. Alright, welcome back. As you can see that rock over there, right here, we're going to use this rock as a measurement of our speed. So here's how fast part 3 can move, or how fast you would normally be able to move if you don't have water speed at all. If you don't have water speed increased, like don't have the strength increase, but don't have it nerfed, this is as fast as you can go. And yep. And welcome back. I'm going to show off how slower water speed is. We're using that rock as a form of measurement, and here we go. This is how slower water speed is. So as you can see, slower water speed can have a huge toll on you if enemies are actually in the water. And alright, see you later.
Find them.
And here is the upgraded water speed. So if you have water speed, this is how fast you can expect to move. I know you would think it's not crazy fast, but this is actually faster than the boat itself. So if you have water speed, it makes you the perfect counter to any boat in the game. So yep. Next up, we'll be doing shift. Or I mean, sorry, sense. And this is sense. So how it works is you toggle it. You can see people from a distance, but as you can see, it lasts a pretty long time if you have the plus sense. It's the upgraded version of sense. It also increases how far you can see. If you have it, it increases how fast you can get it back. As you can see, it's come back insanely fucking fast and lasts for a super long time. And that is plus sense. Alright. And so
And
here is how fast you use your sense if you have minus sense. As you can see, it uses pretty fucking fast. And watch how slow it takes to get it back. yeah, it's fucking terrible.
Haha!
But the range is also decreased with it, so you can't really see that far. But yeah, now we'll skip to just normal sense. And here, if this guy wouldn't stop shutting up, like holy fuck, I would kind of need to see my fucking thing. Thank you. Here is what sense looks like if it isn't touched or upgraded in any format. Hold up. Alright, let's try this again. So, uh, take a look at senses, how long it lasts now. As you can see, it's a fair amount of time. It's not too bad. It's an okay, and it has a pretty decent amount of range to it, with a okay regenerative ability. As I'll let you see now. Fills up at an okay rate. I'd say it's a pretty decent rate. Not terrible, but not great. It makes you... It's balanced. I'd say it's pretty balanced. And if you keep tapping it, you can get it back pretty fast. So if you use it in this regards, you can get it back pretty fast. Alright, welcome back. So, right now, I'm going to show you how good the morph is.
Kill them.
Actually, I forget if he's got, like, minus morph or not. I don't know what he has specifically. Actually, you guys probably saw it as the thing goes, but whatever that was at the start, I mean, yeah. So, as you can see, whatever it is, it's coming back at it's actually a pretty slow rate, but considering that you can teleport anywhere in the map instantly, man, it's a pretty decent time, whatever this may be. So, I mean, I'll do a little peek at the end of this so that you can see, but yeah. I also feel like I should note that I am not going to explain how traps are plus traps do, or how plus throwing knives work, because, I mean, you can just get it, and how minus trap works, I'm pretty sure you can get it. It's always plus 2 more traps, or minus 2 traps, so, like, it'll be, if it's not touched, you'll have 5, if it is touched, you'll have, like, in the bad way, you'll have 3, and if it's touched in the good way, you'll have 7. So, there you go. Welcome back to this next little bit. So, I'm going to show you
what they did to us.
like how fast you can get your morph back if you have plus morph. So, boom. As you can see, it is coming back really fast. By the way, I know I forgot to show off part 3's thing, and yes, I know. Why are little man, stop fucking talking. I'm trying to show it. But, yeah. If you have plus morph, it gets back fast. It's not as fast as, like, shift, but it's, you get it back pretty fast. For the ability to just kind of fly anywhere, you get it back pretty fast.
Make them remember what
now
they
we're
did
gonna
to
show
us,
you
Jason.
what it's like if you don't
Kill
have
them.
morph speed at all. Like, if it's fucking garbage. So, boom. Look how long it takes. That's kind of fucking horrific, right? It's pretty terrible. But I feel like morph is only something you use if, like, you need to constantly battle between 2 different objectives all the time. So, as long as you keep everything on a lock at the beginning of the game and then go after people, you should have enough time to do a chase, kill a couple people, and then use your morph to go after them. And holy as you can see, his morph was not touched in any
Yeah, I
way.
saw you called
So,
the cops.
and as you also can tell, uh, his shift is also not touched in any way, and that's what we're about to do, his shift. So here is your shift if you have it just normal, just a normal everyday shift. This is how fast it goes and how far it goes. Yep. And here's how fast it regenerates. It's at a pretty slow speed. So I mean, I wouldn't really... I think that this is not as moderate as it could be, but I mean... It's more fun to run around as Jason and grab and slash that guy than it is to teleport around like that, but... I mean, you have that ability and it regens pretty fast, so... Psh. And here is what shift looks like if you have minus shift. So if you have shift, this is what it looks like. You use it up really fast, you can't go that fast, and on top of that, it takes super fucking long to get. So that's what shift looks like.
Seriously,
If you
fuck you.
Never die.
and here is what it looks like if you have maxed shift, like if you have really good shift. You go super fast, it lasts for a crazy long time, and it gets back at a pretty decent speed. Alright guys, to show off like the can't run here, I'm going to show you how slow it is at first, and then I'm going to cut to another video in the same house to show you how fast can run is. So, here we go. That's how long it takes you to get across. And here's how fast you go with can run. Not sure if that's any faster, but yep. Alright guys, so I'm about to teach you guys what you should do if they get the car. So, the basic principles... Hold up. So the basic principle is you gotta be in front of the car in order to stop it, or behind it, depending on which direction he's moving. If he's moving backwards, you gotta be behind it to stop it. If he's moving forwards, you gotta be moving backwards.
Time to get out of here.
So if they're moving backwards, that's one tactic you can do. If you force them into a corner, you can force them to drive into you.
It started.
Now, off-roading is where it becomes dangerous, but you always got to make sure you keep putting pressure on them and stay in front of them all the time. Sometimes the bad drivers will have a hard time backing up, and they'll be forced to drive forward, giving you a window to stop the car.
All set. Time to get out of here.
And sometimes they just crash on their own.
It worked. It actually worked.
Another good tactic to try to do is you'll go up ahead, enable stock, then turn on your sense and shift. And you won't know, but I honestly was expecting him to go forward. So sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes I can see it happening ahead of time. But some people are really bad at driving. But as I can said, all you have to do is you gotta make sure you're in front of the car or behind the car. If it's driving forward, then what you're gonna want to do is try to either get in front of it, like that. If it's backing up, you're gonna want to back shift. It's where you shift all around the back of the car and you plant yourself like this.
Holy shit. It started.
teleport up, and boom. And what it looks like for them is that you just teleported out of nowhere and did it. So that's one tactic that you can do to stop the car.
Okay.
As far as the
Time to get out
phone
of here.
goes, it's the most dangerous thing to do because it's hard. It's not a car. You can't just stop one guy and fuck over everybody. The phone is the biggest thing you want to keep trapping. The phone will look like this on the map, like a little phone. You always got to make sure you trap that and make sure that's always secure. If that phone goes off, you're usually screwed because two people is still like two cars going. It's hard to stop two of them. With a car, you only have to worry about one single target. Then you can just do whatever you want and get the free kill. And that's how we do it. I hope this video has shown you every piece of information you wanted to know about. I hope. Yes, and this is the How to Jason play. But I'll just explain after showing you what all of that does, what all of these bits do. As far as defense goes and stun resistance and HP thing, defense is it lowers your HP and block chance, which means if you are in a block state, which is your combat stance, which is that thing I was showing you to help break down the door faster, push and C. If you hold right click and stop moving, it enables a guaranteed chance to not be stunned. But if you're in combat stance and just moving, you have a higher chance to block the hit, but still get stunned. So what happens is, if you have lower defense, some weapons can just break right through it. If you have low defense and some guy's using an axe with a soccer punch, which is a perk I'll explain to you in my next video, in my Survivor how to play, it'll bust right through it and stun Jason like it's nothing. How you're supposed to play the part 2, now I'll start getting into this. Oh, and stun resistance is, it doesn't mean like you have a higher chance not to get stunned. It just means that when you are stunned, it takes, if you have better stun resistance, it takes less time for you to break out of the stun. If you have shit stun resistance, it takes more time for you to break out of a stun. So, and I would show you those numbers, but I mean, I know this is a 20-minute, 16-minute video for you guys, but for me, this took me 3 hours to fucking make to get all those clips and arrange them the way I did so that you can watch all of it and see what every little thing does. So, I mean, I know it's kind of shit, but bear with me. I spent a lot of time in this video already, so... but how you're supposed to play part 2 is, part 2, he comes with 7 traps. So, what you want to do with part 2 is you put like 3 to at least 2 traps on the phone. And anytime you hear a trap go off, unless if it's accompanied by like a battery sound or a gas sound, which you'll learn over time playing the game, you'll learn the difference between the two sounds, but there is a difference. A battery sounds more electrical, while as the phone actually sounds like a phone. I don't really know how to explain it. Kind of like that that tone you hear when you push a button in your phone, but you didn't actually start the call. If you know that noise, kind of like that boop. Yeah, you'll hear that, and that's the phone itself. And if you hear that, that's super bad. But if you hear like electrical shit and then a trap went off, it usually means they're by a car, so you'll want to go to the car. But if you hear nothing and just a trap goes off, a safe bet I love to do is always check the phone first. The phone is the most crucial thing, because a car, if you stop the car, the one target, the one moving thing, then you stop it for 4 people or 2 people, depending if it's the 2-seater or 4-seater. The boat is really easy, depending if you have water speed or not. The boat, all you have to do is get close enough to it where an E prompt happens. So basically, swim up to it and smash E. That's all you have to do. And then an animation will start where Jason pops out of the water, shakes the boat, knocks 2 people out. Then, swim over to the other side if they didn't fall on your side, and if they did fall on your side, just smash E again, because it's not a hold E, it's a tap E to start the kill animation. What will happen is the survivor just stays in the water for a little bit, you jump out of the water, and you pull them underwater and drown them. There is no perks in the game that'll increase the start time of the boat fast enough to the point where they can start it and get away before the drowning animation's over. So if the survivor goes back in the boat, don't worry about it. You can shake him out of the boat again and drown him over again. Simple as that. And so that's how you stop the boat. But if you have slower water speed, you can easily be juked out because they can still see a very faint red circle in the water, like you can. It's not as bright as your side on the screen, but they can still see it. What you gotta do from there is you gotta try to avoid it. Either turn super to the left or super to the right and try to just do a huge U around them. You gotta avoid them, not let the boat get close to them. That's all you have to do. And if you can't, then turn the boat around entirely and just go the opposite way. If they don't have slower water speed specifically, they have a chance. It's not a huge chance, but it's pretty much a good chance. If they accompany it with stock, there's a good chance you're not going to notice the red circle, and they're going to stop you. And if they have water speed, it doesn't matter if you juke them out. Water speed makes you so fast, as you've seen in my video, that you're faster than the boat, so you can catch up with it even if they juke you out. So that's why Part 7 is amazing for the boat, but that's about it. So with this one, you want to put like 3 traps. I normally do 3 traps on the phone, and then put like 1 trap on the battery, 1 trap on the gas for both both cars. And if there's a boat, then unless you have 3 traps and can block the entire fucking dock, or if it's right up on like shore, then block it that way. But yeah, with the boat, you don't really have to worry about it because there's only 2 people that get out. Of course, keep pushing your M or 1 key so that you can constantly keep an eye on the boat, because if the boat moves, you'll see it happen on your minimap, and you can time it, plan it out. Activate your stock, morph into the water, and try to stop them. Usually works. And if you have slower water speed, that's the only way to stop the boat, is to turn off your terror music using stock and going into the water and basically be a minefield. It's the only way. Yeah, so with part 2, it's just pretty much put traps and then take your time, go around, kill people. Your can run enables you to wear down their stamina, so you just keep playing their little game, keep chasing them, just keep chasing them, because they have a stamina meter. They'll eventually run out and then do a really light jog, which enables you to just grab them or slash them, whichever one you want to do. I would recommend not slashing, because a lot of people will get angry at you for doing it, but if you got really pissed off at the player, I can understand doing it. So, yeah. And as you see, Morph only just increases how fast you can get it back, so he's a really good Jason for overall maintaining all the objectives and bouncing around, keeping everything in check. That's what this Jason's good for. He's not really good one-on-one. His weaknesses is mostly about stunning him or outrunning him, wasting his shifts. Basically, this is the easiest Jason to avoid dying from if he's right in front of you. Though he's the hardest Jason to get anything done with. That's kind of what he is. This Jason tries to waste your time enough to the point where he'll eventually, one by one, kill everybody. That's what Part 2 is good for. Part 9, he's got less traps, so he's not really that good about keeping everything on a lock without being somewhere. He's got more shift, which enables him to be really good about being, like, really up in your face a lot. That stun resistance means getting stunned means nothing to you. You can just break out of it pretty fucking fast. And increased stock enables you to play more mind games with your victims. So it's more about just trying to juke them out and fuck with them. That's what Part 9's all about. Where he's weak is he's like one of the easier Jasons to get shit done because he can't keep things on a lock, and you can get his mask off really easy, so you can actually kill him pretty effectively. So he's like one of the easiest Jasons in the game to go for a Jason kill. But at the same time, he's also hard because of that stun resistance and shift. So it's still interesting to see him, but you can get everything set up except for his mask. That mask, you're gonna have to fight for it. But in Part 8, he's pretty much, in my opinion, good balanced all around. He's got that water speed, which means he's really good about taking care of the boat, even if like you get by. So boat, don't worry about, just gotta keep looking on your map. That destruction, as I showed you before, breaks through doors like it's fucking nothing. And if you use that combat stance on top of that, you can break it in like under 2 seconds. That stock is really good for playing mind games with him. But his sense is not that great, so you can hide from him slightly easier. His range is not that huge of a stun, so if you hear his terror music, like just start hearing it, and he's just walking towards you, you have a good chance to hide in a cabin before he even knows you're there. That grip strength is low, so if you're playing somebody with high composure, you're pretty much going to get out of his grasp, unless if he smashes the 1 through 4 keys to kill you. And that can't run means he's really good about outrunning him and shit. It's really good about, like, you can conserve a lot of your stamina if there's a Part 8 in your lobby, but you can't use houses to get your stamina back because destruction basically takes care of it. And Part 7. The reason why I bitched about him so fucking much is because I hate how Part 7 is built up. Part 7, with Sense, like I showed you before, all it does is increases how far you can see people with that red sensor. You can see them for a longer duration, and you can get your sense back faster. That's what plus sense does. Which is really good to have, but if you don't have anything good to back it up with, it's kind of pointless. That water speed is insane. It's basically a free shift whenever you want it, but only if you're in the water. And grip strength is always nice, but again, it's only good if you can actually catch up with people to grab them. So the way that his strengths were built up, it doesn't really make him powerful in any way. It's just kind of like, in very specific scenarios, does it give him a benefit, and because it's so specific, most of the time, this Jason doesn't do well. And his weaknesses nerf him so much. He can't run, and he doesn't have good shift, which means he's not good at all with trying to kill people when he finds them. And because he has minus traps, he's not good at all with maintaining or locking down anything, which means you pretty much can get anything done if there's a Part 7 in your thing. Part 7 definitely requires a lot of skill to play and have fun with. A lot of skill. So if you see a Part 7 in your lobby that does good every fucking game, give him some credit, because Part 7's not an easy Jason to play. Part 6. How you're meant to be played with him is because he has no run speed, so he can't wear down people's stamina. But he's given shift and throwing knives to counter that one bit. That shift enables you to get it back really fast, go really fast, and have it for a long period of time if you so choose. It just enables you so that you have complete and utter flexibility with catching up to them if they get too far or too fast. But your throwing knives is where you really want to exploit with this Jason. You start off with 4 throwing knives, and you get another 3 in your starting shack, which gives you 7 throwing knives before you even teleport. If you pick up more along the ways, you can get up to about 9 before you even get into a fight. 9 throwing knives is insane to have. All it requires is 2 to put somebody in injured state, which takes their ability to run entirely. Once you do that, it doesn't matter if you can't run, neither can they. You can just lightly jog up to them and then kill them. a lot of people like this Jason. In my opinion, he's a fun Jason to learn how to play at the start. He's really good about teaching you how to use those throwing knives because you have more to use, so you have more chance to fuck up, but more chance to learn and get your aim right. So, in my opinion, he can be really powerful, but he can also be a really good teacher. So that's where part 6 is. And the cool thing is, you get part 6 the minute you buy the game. At level 1, you have part 6 and part 3. So you can play this Jason all you want. His minus morph means he can't really cover anything on grounds, but he has 5 traps, so he can put things on an okay lock while he does everything. It's just he can't constantly switch back and forth. So his weakness is if he just set a trap and just morphed out of there, that's the time you want to do where you break that trap and then you put that part into the car and then run the fuck out of there. Because you can get away with that part, and if you get away from it too far enough where his sense won't pick you up. By the way, he has plus sense, so you have to get really far away. Then you got away with the part and he has no idea where you went. As I said before, he has like minus defense, which means you can break through his blocks and stun him more. He's mostly good about like finding you and hitting you from a distance. He's really good about taking away your freedom, your powers, your abilities. Part 4, the newest Jason in the game add-on. I was super hyped to see this because his strengths and weaknesses actually seem really fair and really unique. So he can run, which I always prefer over a shift because running is passive. You always have it. You never have to stop running, you can just always run. Shift, to counter running, he has minus shift, which I'm okay with. He's got weapon strength, so if he needs to, he can kill people by slashing them and not actually needing to perform an execute. He can just keep left-clicking them to death. Say there's a group of people stun blocking him and won't let him do an execute, or there's just a guy that you know has more than one pocket knife and you don't really feel like dealing with it. You can kill him doing that. I'm the type of player that tries to, if I know you have a pocket knife and you haven't been pissing me off, I'd rather waste it than just slash you to death. Because somebody else can pick that up and use it on me later. So even if you know you have it, just let them use it. That means that's one less pocket knife somebody else can use down the road. Makes it easier for you. As you see in my part 6 video, I ate all 5 pocket knives in the map, and I knew that there was none left, and I was able to just go plow through everybody. And no protection anymore. And he has really slow water speed to counter his destruction perk, which is destruction allows him to just break doors down with like fucking 3 or 4 hits, as you've seen. So since he's so powerful about finding you and like chasing you and killing you, because he can break down that doors, he can wear down your stamina, you can't use houses to regain your stamina, so your stamina just keeps dropping. He basically eats stamina. He's a monster. He eats your stamina. And those traps is the only like fair thing that they could do to him, that and his water speed. Shift's not even that big of a deal in my opinion. It's nice to have, but it's not mandatory. I can do good without shift. Part 3. Yes, part 3. I feel like he is the most balanced, kind of generally across the board, the most fun character to play, that's really powerful, but yet at the same time doesn't have anything that's overpowered, anything that's desirable. He's got cam run, which is always really good, and his shift isn't touched, which combined, that's amazing. You're perfect for chasing people down and killing them early on because of that. Your weapon strength enables you to slash people in case you need to, and your grip strength allows you to just kind of explore the new kind of environmental kill segment that Friday the 13th loves to advertise. And honestly, I think it's cool. I really do. The environmental kills definitely makes this game this game. Every time you get one, you feel special, it feels unique. Love it. Though his stun resistance is low, so he actually is stunned for a longer period of time, And I honestly think everybody should start to get used to that sort of stun duration, so that when you play part 9 and have like less stun on you, then you feel like you're a monster. You can just break out of a fucking stun and you feel powerful. If you play part 9 first and get used to not having a stun duration, then when you play part 3 and get stunned, you're going to be super pissed off that you're stunned for so long. At least this way, you get used to long stun durations, so that when you get a short one, it feels like you're a beast. Your sense is not that great, but it's alright. You only really need to confirm if they're in a building that you're going to go into. So you only need to kind of pop it, half second, look at the building. Is it glowing red? It's glowing red. Turn it off. Go in. As you're breaking down the doors, what I like to do is kind of flash it just to make sure they didn't jump out a window. And I always turn on sense as I do a shift. Why? Because there's a lot of trees and there's a lot of cars, buildings and stuff. If I turn this on, it turns everything black and white, and the only thing that's going to be red is the player I need to kill. So it makes it super easy to see them as I'm shifting towards them. And stock's not that great, but I really don't think stock is something that you should have upgraded with a starting Jason. It's like, he's the starting Jason. You just started off the game. Sure, it's nice to have, nice to explore with, but it's not something you should be concerning yourself with at the beginning. You should be learning the shift and the dodging tactics. I wanted to show you guys like what to do if somebody's coming at you with a fucking bat, and I thought there's no real point in me showing it to you because I could just tell you, and it makes just as much sense. If a guy comes at you with a weapon that you know has a good chance at stunning you, and he turns around, right, as he's running away, and he's getting ready to swing at you, like you just have that feeling, like, why else are you turning around? What you do is turn around in the opposite direction. There's a fixed animation that they have to do to swing, so if you walk to the right of it, you can make him miss it, and if you walk the complete opposite direction, they can undershoot it, miss it. And then what you can do is use your kind of jog to turn around really fast and then try to go for a grab. This works 50% of the time with me, but sometimes you can nail it. Another good tactic to do, if you're chasing somebody else down and there's somebody else behind you and you know they're chasing you, waiting for you to grab this guy so that they can stun block you out of it. What I like to do is keep chasing that guy, keep following that guy, use the advantage of the third person angle to watch that other guy behind you, and when he gets too close, turn around and grab him. He's not going to suspect it, and there's not much that he can do to stop it. Eventually you'll learn to get really slick with it, really fast and really smooth with it, and you'll grab him. More or less, when people do that, they have a pocket knife. But still, only 5 per match, and the 5th one only comes into the game if Tommy Jarvis is called. So at the start of the game, there's only 4. So it's really good to waste pocket knives like that early on. If they do it again, keep doing it until there's no more pocket knives and kill them like that. Who cares? And if they complain that you're smashing 1 through 4, just say, there's a lot of you here and I need to kill you guys because I'm Jason. So, they shouldn't really complain. And finally, Savini over here. Yeah. And I would agree that Savini is pretty overpowered because he has that destruction weapon strength, weapon range, because he has a trident, which is just as long as Part 6's staff, which enables you to hit through doors, interrupt animation through doors, hit people from further away so that they can't do the whole swing, turn. You can literally just slash them before they even get in range. So yeah. That water speed really drains him as far as like what he's good with. People know about that, but they don't know that he can't run and doesn't have good grip strength. So what people don't understand is with Savini, how you want to counter Savini is the shift. His shifts are where you really want to focus. Since that's his strongest attribute, the thing that makes him the best, is if you hear Savini, don't get discouraged. Stay focused, stay calm. If you hear him shift, that's where you want to focus and that's where you want to like get countering. As long as you can keep countering his shifts and not get grabbed by his shifts, Savini, for the most part, is not really that powerful. You can't really do anything from that. His can't run enables you to just jog and still be twice as fast as him, and you can get away. And that grip strength doesn't really mean anything because most Savinis would rather just like use their weapon kills instead of anything else because it's specific to them and only for them. They would rather just smash the 1 through 3 to use their 3 weapon kills. And I understand that, but most people call that BS because you're making one weakness not a weakness. It's kind of like, well, whatever. I mean, they're founders. It's a founders edition item, so I feel like, yeah, they should be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. But yeah, he's actually not that powerful. All you gotta do is focus on his shift. His weapon strength is only good if you get close to him, so as long as you stay at a fair distance away from him, you'll be fine. Like, I'd say 4 meters to 5 meters. You stay that far away from him, he can't hit you. And destruction, there's no way to counter it. There's no way to avoid it. It's kind of just there. I think the biggest way to avoid it is to set bear traps. And tomorrow, I'm going to make a video about, like, how to play and info about the counselor side now, so you guys can learn how to, like, use each counselor the way you're supposed to, and how to build your counselor according to their strengths and weaknesses. Until next time, guys, it's been great. And I hope this video helped you out a lot and learned a lot about countering Jasons. And a lot about playing a better Jason. See ya.